Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, back to do another About Last Nightmare. This is where my friend Nick and I, from The Last Shoegazer, watch the same movie that we have in our collection, separately, but together. And generally message back and forth. Sometimes I give him facts and figures. Sometimes he tells me things he knows about the film. Um, Most of the time it's just reacting to kind of what we see on the screen. And sometimes it's actually making fun of the film, kind of like Mystery Science Theater. So it's a lot of fun. And eventually, I do believe I've said this before, but I think we're going to try to get together towards the end of the summer. He lives about 3 hours away from me, so I think we're going to try to get our families together and actually do one together. So, but last night I had the honor and the privilege of introducing to my friend one of my favorite films of all time, and definitely my favorite vampire film, which is Subspecies. You okay there, bud? Now, Subspecies came out in 1990 and runs about 84 minutes and is directed by Ted Nicolau, who directed the rest of the Subspecies films, and I'm trying to remember whether he did the rest of the Vampire Journals, or the Vampire Journal film, which is kind of loosely connected with this. It's supposed to be in the same universe, and they do reference Radu, the vampire, in this film. So I do consider it part of the same set. Um, I'm just trying to remember whether he directed it or not. I cannot remember, but Ted Nicolau also had his hand in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, in my opinion, kind of gave some street cred to Full Moon, who is basically known for doing low-budget horror films. So having Ted Nicolau, I think, kind of boosted them a little bit. And this is definitely one of the best series that Full Moon has ever done, in my opinion. Kind of wish they would have done more than just 4 of them, but that's just me. Subspecies stars Andes Hoven as Radu the Vampire, which that's him right there. He's one of my favorite actors. He's a very over the top actor, but he's so much fun to watch. At times he makes you laugh. He's just really entertaining. Now I'm also ashamed to say that I do watch General Hospital when he is on there. He played a reoccurring villain, which he is just gifted as being a over-the-top villain. He plays the character Cesar Faison, and it's been a reoccurring character for quite some time. Although, spoiler alert, I mean, he is getting older, but they kind of killed off his character, so I don't think he's going to be back. But a little bit of trivia in case anyone is interested. I was walking by the other day, and my wife was watching it, and I heard that the actress that usually plays Monica Quartermain has been replaced temporarily with Patty McCormick. And if that sounds familiar, she was the child actress that was in The Bad Seed. So I thought that was pretty cool. Plus, she's done some other horror things, later in her life. But back to Subspecies. It also stars Angus Scrimm, but he has a very small part. Angus Scrimm, of course, was the tall man in the Phantasm series. Rest in peace. Yeah. But this is just a great film. Like I said, it's one of my favorites of all time. And I was probably getting on Nick's nerves last night because I was kind kind of spouting out facts as we were watching the film. This was actually filmed on location in the Carpathian Mountains, and the scenery is just gorgeous. I mean, from the castles to the ruins, it's just gorgeous. Very well filmed. And another thing that I was telling Nick, usually I have a cheat sheet here, but I'm kind of winging it today. I do feel I knew enough about this film to kind of wing it. Probably seen it about 100 times. So, yeah. Another thing I was telling Nick is the lead actress, which is a dark-haired girl right here. I believe her name is Michelle Watson, if I'm not mistaken. Now, she was replaced after this film by Denise Duff, which I thought was a very good move because I like her a lot better. The one in this film didn't really do much for me, but they kind of kept her as the same character, just replaced her in the second one. And I told Nick that if they would have had her in the original, Denise Duff, the one that they replaced, this movie would almost be perfect for me. There's just something about it. My history of this film goes kind of way back to 1990 when it came out. I graduated in 89, and I was one of those deprived children. Not really deprived, but I was one of those kids that never had cable growing up. It just wasn't around in our area. And when I graduated in 89, I moved with my parents to a different town, although in the same state. And we were able to get cable. So my parents got Cinemax and Showtime and all that kind of stuff. And of course I was unaware of the whole Skinemax thing and all that until much later. But one Friday night, this movie was coming on, Subspecies. And they played like a little trailer for it. And I said, oh, that looks interesting. So I sat down to watch it because I didn't have anything else to do that Friday night. And I just couldn't turn away. I couldn't shut it off. And from there, it's been, one of my favorites of all time. Definitely my favorite vampire film. And one of my favorite movies of all time. And, yeah, I had it on VHS, which it used to be quite expensive. Then on DVD. And now on Blu-ray, so, yeah. Definitely one of my favorite series of all time. And one of my favorite movies. But this is where I turn it over to Nick to do part 2, which is going to have the plot synopsis, our overall take on the film, and our rating. So definitely check out About Last Nightmare Part 2 at the Last Shoegazers site. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.